Hey everybody, so this is nature's cruel little joke on New England. Today is October 31st. I think it's Halloween. And yesterday we had a snowstorm, which from what you can see in the yard here, it doesn't look like much now because a lot of it melted. We got a lot of strong sun today that melted a lot of it. Needless to say, it did kind of catch us by surprise. The forecast was for like 1 to 3 inches in some of the areas. We weren't supposed to get much at all. I think in the end we ended up getting at least 4 inches. Kind of can see on the hot tub cover again. This is down quite a bit from where it was, but you can see that's up to there in my hand. So yeah, so that's a bummer. I did not want to see this weather yet. These are tools that are junk. That actually is a saw that I used when I built this house. It's a giant, very heavy worm drive saw made by Skill Saw. That was so powerful that you could see I actually had a diamond blade on there, and we used that actually to cut stone tiles. But the problem with all of these tools are they're all metal case tools, so nobody really wants them anymore. They're too worried about the shock hazard. I mean, there's things you could do. You could change them over and put 3-prong plugs on and ground the cases, but they're just old tools and it's not worth it, so that's going to be all scrap. The only reason they're still sitting here is because I want to cut the cords off and put them in my scrap wire, and I want to take that brush off of there to save it. That's a good wire wheel. That blade probably still has some life on it, so I'll save that. This old drill I already cut the cord off of. This is the only thing I kind of was thinking of keeping, only because it had some sentimental value. I remember this. I remember my father using this drill. It's really slow RPMs, 450 RPM drill. So it's no speed control, no variable speed. It's just basically you pull the trigger, it's 450 RPM. I remember him cutting holes in steel with that when I was a kid. And you know, that thing will wrench your arm right out of your hand. Arm out of your hand? What the hell did I just say? Wrench your arm out of its socket? Wrench your hand off? I don't know. So the Yerf Dog, tonight I've set a premiere for the video in which we attempt to do the first start on the GY6 since we started this whole project. So we've done some other things. I don't want to, kind of a spoiler, don't want to really get into that, but I mean, somewhere around here is the chain I had soaking in a tray, and that probably got filled with snow that is now melted. The GT17, of course, everybody knows that that's already running. I think we already uploaded the video where I put the new carburetor in this thing with Mark. I honestly don't remember. So I guess we could do a cold start on this if it'll indulge us. Carburetor is not quite adjusted yet where I think I want it to be on this, but unfortunately the only adjustment you can get to once the air filter is in place is the low speed adjustment right there. I don't know if I'm even in frame, but anyways, okay, I've got my camera, the GoPro, synced to the app here, so I'm supposed to be able to see what the camera's looking at. Yeah, so right down in there we can just get to that adjustment there, but the other one now with this style carburetor is on top of the carburetor and goes straight down, so it's almost impossible to get to it. So it's kind of a bummer. So let's see. Key was off, that's good. Mark had forgotten the key on at one point and killed the battery completely. So we got to make sure the choke is on, and we want the accelerator up. So, you know, this is a great wet heavy snow for a snowball fight. That's another project I wanted to get done before winter got here. That's the Shelter Logic shed in a box. That's the first one I had purchased. Well, technically it's the second one. It's the first one of this Alpine style I had purchased, and that has failed. Last winter it failed. So it's got big old rips in it, so there are areas in there where it just basically rains on everything inside there, or snows on everything inside there. So I could buy a brand new one complete for $500 shipped. So it's amazing to me that they want like $250 or $270 for the replacement plastics, the front, the back, and the top. So they're basically saying that more than half of the money in this thing is the plastic, which I thought for sure that it was going to be the tubular frame where some of that, more of that money would be. Yeah, oh well. Here's a Haro BMX bike. I gotta get some pictures of that. Got somebody who might be interested in that. I ran into somebody when I was picking tools. I ran into somebody buying a classic BMX bike, and I told them I had a few. This is one. I brought over to take. I dug it out of the barn to bring it over and take some photographs of it, and then I didn't get around to doing that. And now it's sat out here in the snow. But that's probably a parts bike anyways. I guess a lot of these are used for just parts on other bikes. Yeah, there's a lot of unforgotten projects. A lot of forgotten projects in there. Things that need my attention. Probably best we don't go in there. String trimmer, I went to use that and broke the damn pull cord right off. And then before I got around to doing anything with that, of course it snowed. The Eiger. The Eiger needs a new battery. I've been pull starting it, which is no easy feat on that thing. I don't even remember how big that is. Is that a 400 or what the heck was that? I don't remember how big that is. I think it's a 400. My Arian Zero Turn. Put the new head gasket on that. Got it running good. It's got a flat tire. That just needs basically to be winterized, so that come spring I can put on the hopefully what will be the finished rebuild of the blower unit, the leaf blower unit, pickup, whatever you call it, vac, so that I could sell this in the spring with the you know, the what you call it, the bagger assembly and everything working. That's a 3-phase pedestal grinder that I really need to make a decision on. My old RV cover that I used as a cover for this stuff under here has failed miserably, so that now means that I want to prioritize getting that down into the basement shop for the winter as a winter project. That is the Delta Rockwell, or Rockwell, tool and cutter grinder. And then under there is the Dual surface grinder. And this is my Walker Turner bandsaw. Hell of a way to treat your tools, huh? There's the old Grizzly 600. By now that needs a carb rebuild and a new battery, and then that would actually run, but I have no use for it, so it's low priority. Although I guess I should get it running and maybe sell it rather than have it you know, just waste away. Speaking of wasting away, here's the IH350 utility tractor. That tarp looks like it might still be holding up decently. We'll probably get another tarp on it before the real winter hits. This poor little son of a gun right here, this is a little South Bend lathe that I picked up that I didn't even intend on buying. I went out to buy this Hardinge, this little Hardinge lathe. It's like a second operation lathe. So those are projects that I got to get to. My thinking on this was keep the Hardinge for myself because it's got a collet closer on it, and then just fix up this enough to inspire somebody to buy it or part it out. I haven't decided yet. It's got a lot of good parts on it still. It's got a threading dial, it's got a micrometer stop. Yeah. That's the Yelm Earthmaster. Not to be confused with Yerf, as in Yerf dog. This is the Yelm Earthmaster is what I dubbed this. This was the Earthmaster tractor that I purchased from a gentleman in Yelm, Washington, and paid at great expense to have shipped coast to coast to me for parts and for my Earthmaster tractor. What? You've never seen my Earthmaster tractor? Well, that's because it's barely a tractor. It's in pieces. But that's definitely a project I wanted to be able to do at some point. So anyways, so that's a parts tractor. Story there is that I had taken the tractor apart and had it stored in the barn, and somebody broke into the barn and they were after scrap metal, and they grabbed a bunch of stuff and stole it. And one of the things they stole was the brass radiator. This is on the list of to-do items not to complete. This is the Ugly Boat series. The Ugly Boat series, that's pretty much a major fail. This boat was missing this has got a rotted transom floor. It was missing the windshield when I got it. I accidentally broke the steering wheel. I started to get the motor running and then kind of gave up on that, moved on to other projects. So now I really want to just get rid of it so that I could salvage that trailer. That trailer's actually decent. Somebody might be able to use that trailer. But I couldn't even get anybody to take this away for free with that boat on it. But if I chop that boat up and throw it in my dumpster, I could probably sell that trailer. Not for a lot, but, you know. Yeah, all right, we'll head over there in a minute. Having all kinds of trouble with the brush hog project. So, repair of my brush hog. And now, everything's dying down. That is the frame, rear end assembly, and some other parts to the Earthmaster tractor that was part of our original farm that I grew up on. So that's a 1952. These were made from, like, I think 48 to 52. I don't remember exactly. They're pretty rare tractors, which doesn't translate directly to value. They're so obscure that they don't have a big following like a John Deere. So you could have a rare model John Deere that would just completely blow this away in value, which is a shame because there are very low production numbers on these. This tractor was made in, I think, Burbank, California, and it's an interesting history behind that company. And then they stopped production, and the remainder of what parts were left out were, I think, transferred to a location in North Carolina, where they then basically like continued to produce the tractors with, I guess, like the remnants of parts that had already been made. So there's the North Carolina version of this tractor were the later ones near the end of the run, and then there were the California versions. This is a California tractor. That's my old ocean-going boat. That was a fail that happened long before I got into YouTubing. Most of that, what's on there is just good for scrap metal. It's already been cut down quite a bit. Good trailer under it though. Dual axle trailer, no brakes on it, so could end up being a good trailer for just around here, pulling it around the tractor for firewood or whatever. There's the Maine Old Town, the Old Town Maine boat. Those of you who have been watching the Tower of Power series through its entirety may recall this is the boat that the transom failed on like the second outing, and luckily the motor didn't go in the water, but that exposed the horrifying reality that this transom is completely rotted out in this boat, as are the floors and probably the stringers to boot. That boat's pretty much junk. And if it wasn't for the fact that it's kind of a rare boat, I would have already chopped it up. I really would have liked to have done the fiberglass repair on this boat, but I don't think it's ever going to happen. I'd like to find somebody to take that off my hands that would actually take on the work of doing it, but kind of doubt it. This is what brings me out here today. I got somebody who's been very patient for some of the parts off of my old Wells Index milling machine. This is not, of course, my Wells Index milling machine that I use. This is the one that I bought a while back for parts because I needed a spindle for mine. So the rest of this was just extra stuff. I've been selling off parts, figuring that at some point I'd get down to the nitty-gritty where the only thing that was left was the hulk of the machine that I could then somehow get to the scrap yard just to get it out of here. Of course, scrap metal prices are way down. But I actually have somebody who is requesting this rod, the depth stop, and they're looking for these covers right here that are the actual wipers for the saddle, front and rear. And these metal covers right here that actually slide along on top of each other and keep swarf and stuff from being able to fall down inside of the onto the screw. So, and then I got somebody else wants the mechanism inside here that actually allows you to move that ram forward and backwards. When you turn this screw right, when you loosen these nuts and you turn this right here, it actually moves that ram forward and back. And the way it works is there's a chain in there and some sort of drive. So to get that out, I got to get this ram off. So I'm going to use the front end loader on the Oliver to hopefully make that happen. So let's go see if the old 770 is going to start. The temperature right now is, well, the high scheduled high today was 42. I would say that we might be there, or even a little higher. It might be 45. I don't know. It says 40 degrees, but it says feels like 49. Sure it does. That's the neighbor's, that's the neighbor. Oh, what's he got there? Oh, nice. We got a Kubota. Huh. Wonder who that belongs to. There's the old 93 Chevy diesel pickup truck, the 2500 Chevy. So the frame-mounted fuel pump failed on that. And then I didn't have a use for the truck, so I just parked it. Now it's been sitting so long, so it's become kind of a mouse house. That unfortunately has severe rot problems. The Look at the rocker panels and the bottoms of the doors are completely rotting out on that thing. Which is a shame. The bed's still in good shape. I offered it to somebody for $1,500, but he didn't take it. But he admitted that that bed, because it's in such good condition, ironically lack of rot on that, that bed would be valuable to somebody who had one of these 93s. So unfortunately, that's one of those trucks that's probably worth more in parts than it is as a complete running truck. Thus the reason why I haven't made a real effort to get that running again. There's the loader off of the, this is the old John Deere 185 Hydro. Anybody remembers that project? There's the loader off the IH350. There's the trusty old Ford 1920, which has nothing to do these days because of the fact that the brush hog is down. I haven't even started putting up any of the videos on the brush hog yet, even though I've got plenty of video shots, so some of you might not even know anything about that series existing. Here's the Oliver 770, one of the favorites. Here comes somebody. I'm going to turn around here so they don't see that I got a camera on my head. Nobody's damn business what I do here. Anywho, here's the boat, the Concord boat, full of snow. So we've got a warm-up coming, so I'm going to do a winterization of that motor as soon as it warms back up and get this tent over here cleaned out enough so I can get that back underneath for the winter before the next storm. I don't know how low the battery is on this thing. So I should have turned the throttle up. Alright, just making sure that shut-off cable's seized up on this thing, so. Just making sure that's not in the off position, fuel off position. Now we're just going to go get some tools. Camera still on?
Yeah. It's recording.
I know. I have to edit out all those long sections. For some reason the app isn't controlling it.
Yeah.
Okay. You all set there, COVID?
Yeah.
All right. So the plan is, this thing's stuck on here, right? I loosened it all up so it should slide, but it doesn't want to. So I'm going to use the back.
Sorry.
Going to use the power of the backhoe, hopefully, to load it to pull this off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back up. This chain right here is going to tighten and start pulling on this. But what I want to see is I want to actually lower this down so that once the chain is starting to get tight, so that I'm pulling as straight across like this as I can.
Yeah.
You know, in other words, when I back up, that's going to be at too much of an angle like that. I could see. So I can't see because the loader's in the way how much I need to lower it. So you're going to be my eyes on the... Huh? Well, they can stay there. They're not going anywhere.
Okay.
I wasn't going to move the... Not tilting the bucket. I'm going to lower the arms, you know. Did it move? Okay, I can't hear you at all, so come here.
You're gonna make it fall over.
The whole thing? So instead of that moving, it's pulling the whole thing over? Really?
Yeah.
Is it moving?
Oh, just get there. Sometime, like a while back, you must have undid something that made that coupling loose. Because when you lift it up all the way, it went up and stopped.
Yeah, there's a piece inside there that those 4 bolts screw into, so it might not be completely undone. So at this point, I'll just take the whole top right off.
Oh. You can't take them all the way out. On this side, I don't think.
Hold on.
That one's
Here. Oh, not really any clearance there, huh?
yeah, let me try to pull up.
If the washer wasn't on there, it would work. So,
Oh,
there you go.
that's how you did it.
Now the washer's in the way, so you gotta...
The washer's rusted on this one.
Yeah. Not surprised. Yeah.
See if I can wiggle it.
Alright, go ahead.
There we go.
Alright.
Pull up.
Ah! Now we're cooking. Alright, good. Alright. So now this whole thing can come up. So what we're gonna do is, huh?
Can you take that chain? Or wait, you're gonna like strap the chain onto it, right?
What I would love to do is run this chain through there, but this hook's too big to go through. So I can't do it that way.
Wait.
So I'll probably just do this. No, that ain't gonna work. That's it. Yeah. There you go. Let me move this into position closer. I'm gonna get it up over this. We're gonna get enough of that slack so we can wrap the chain around this.
Okay, let me just move that.